I thank the 22 members. Right. I also thank the 22 members who submitted 97 entries and the 38 people who have put in their vote for the Members' Choice Award. The competition not only recognises the huge talent within the club, but also gives us a chance to relive some of the highlights of the year's activities. So, Joan, thank you.
Thank you. Put on our front thing.
Oh, sorry. Joan? Pass you.
Oh, I just clicked that on. Yes, it will. Now that, oh, you can't see it anymore. So tonight's going to be the photo presentation of photos taken in 2024. During 2024, there were many day walks, base camps, social occasions, and every Walking Club of Victoria activity allowed all of us, the members, many opportunities to capture fabulous images. This image that I've started with this evening was actually taken by Carol. You perhaps remember it, Carol. You took that at the Lakes Entrance Base Camp. And from a personal view, it encompasses all that I love about walking. Looking at that where you're being with a group, you're being out in the bush, you're walking in both beautiful surrounds and wonderful weather. So to me, that was a perfect photo to actually start our presentation with. Now, I have to acknowledge Kitty, because we had have had nearly 100 entries over the past year, and they were sorted into one of 3 categories by Kitty. So before we start, a thank you to Kitty. I'd like to thank her because of her hours of work, also as well with Dave, I think helped set up links and things. But I mainly worked with Kitty. She set up links, she set up email addresses, she sorted pictures, she got everything organised into categories. She kept tabs on me and kept tabs on me. And she kept tabs on how many photos were submitted by each member. And finally, she organised all the vote and she scrutinised the voting. So thank you so much, Kitty. All right, this year I have been able to ask we've had 3 different judges, and each one has looked at one category only. And as we get to each category, I'll speak about each judge just very, very briefly before revealing their 2 choices in the category. So we're going to start with the portraiture first. That portraiture photos could have been a standard posed shot, a creative shot, or a shot where the subject was unaware. The next slide I just put together we'll have slide 2.
You might, if you're lucky.
We're lucky.
See a next button. Choose that and forward.
Lovely. And I just picked.
Can I just make sure?
Yes, that's
Shery,
correct.
That's still okay, is it?
We're still seeing the first slide. We're saying the photo competition presentation.
So that's the full screen version. How about that, Gary?
Yeah, it's good.
Is that portraits?
Yes.
Yep.
Portraits?
Yep, that's it. I just picked those four out because they're all, to me, lovely portraits. Different types, some like this one, they didn't know they were being taken. The other three, and there I am at the top. I knew it was being taken. We'll have a look at the next slide. And there's another concept of portraits. This gorgeous one of Bernadette's walk along the beach, and a few, I think, fairly unposed photos there. So if we go on to slide 4, I'm going to introduce our first portrait judge. Well, our portrait judge. Now, Sue Kelly, I'll have to explain, is actually my sister-in-law. And I rang her and she was very excited about the idea. Now, Sue's an artist. She's passionate about oil painting and sculpturing with various materials. Her work reflects quite a vibrant palette, intricate details. She's, I know, done botanicals, landscapes, oils, watercolour. She's exhibited in galleries. She's been fortunate to find success selling her pieces, and she loves it. She thrives on exploring these new techniques. When I asked her, she said, "Oh, Joan, I've got two friends who are lovely friends who are both photographers. Can we share the whole job?" So she's only taken the portraits, and then I'll introduce later her two photographers who took a section each as well. So let's go on to slide 5. Start really getting into it. All right, a marvellous photo. And this is the second place photo in the portrait section as chosen by Sue. Now, Sue said to me, from an artist's perspective, this photo captures a serene moment in a natural setting. The composition includes a group of people engaged in an outdoor hiking activity, which adds a dynamic human element to the landscape. The path they are on creates a leading line that draws the viewer's eye deeper into the scene, inviting exploration. The tall trees, the lush vegetation provide a sense of scale, emphasising the vastness of the natural environment. The interplay of light filtering through the trees adds a soft, ethereal quality, enhancing the peaceful atmosphere. She really loved this photo, but it only got second. And so the next we do now, because the next slide will tell us. And so our second place goes to Ben. You recognised your thing. So thank you, Ben, for a wonderful photo of 4 people on a walk. So now let's look at the winning photo. I did. I told him. He was very excited, and that I should have said. I should have said it was also taken at Lerderberg Gorge. That photo. We were just coming off a little part and then back onto the path, and I recognised that. So it was a great photo. Now here's our winning photo, which doesn't. Taking it onto this, it doesn't do it justice. But this winning photo, which Sue adored, she kept telling me about the 2 women in the tree. In the photo, she said, we've got 2 individuals nestled within the hollow of a large fallen tree, surrounded by the bush, verdant textures of a forest. The interplay of light and shadow creates a natural spotlight on the subjects, highlighting their adventurous spirits. Their matching hats and hiking gear blend practically with a sense of camaraderie. The circular frame of the tree trunk adds depth, drawing the viewer's eye inward, while surrounding foliage provides a vibrant, organic contrast to the earthy tones of the wood. This composition captures a harmonious moment of exploration and connection with nature. Why don't we see who took it? Next slide. Bated breath and Ben. As you can see, two bushwalkers, I said in a cave, in a log, taken at the Marysville base camp. Yours.
Excuse me, Joan, who is that with Bernadette? I can't make it out. Janet Hager, thanks.
So, I mean, there were so many marvellous photos in the portrait section. You must realise that Sue has no idea who any of these people are. She goes through the 30 photos and they were the two that kept jumping back at her. We're going to go on now to the landscape section. So again, I put together a couple and, you know, I mean, the landscapes were fabulous. And here's a couple of just three wonderful ones. We look at the next slide. Oh, this one I adored, but I wasn't voting or picking them. Again, I think that's Brett.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's Robin.
Robin, sorry.
And the title is Two Giants of the Forest.
I mean, just beautiful, beautiful photos. I love them. So if we have a look, we've got now another artist to introduce, a photographer, and I'll talk to you about Ian first. And he judged this landscape section. And a few things. He's a keen, mainly amateur photographer, has been for over 50 years. He's covered events, travel, sport, landscape, portrait. He considers composition the most important element when taking a photograph. His advice to any photographer is to pause before pressing the shutter. Check your composition. Now, in considering the entries, he considered other elements as well: colour, lighting, and whether that photographer evoked a response from the viewer. It's interesting how we all look at photos and some we just pass by and others we go, oh, just makes you feel good. He loved all our entries. They were all commendable, he said. The ones chosen were each composed with some considerable thought and each evoked a warm and comforting response, he said. Okay, let's have a look at the second place. Now, this one got second place. I just think it's taken at...
The Water Arch in Tasmania.
Yes. The cave photograph, he said, has been well formed with both the mouth of the cave and the eye drawn to the walkers. And then the eye continues to be drawn to the water. The lighting is good, considering the challenges of bright daylight and shadow. It gives the viewer a strong sense of being there. So that's why Ian thought, well, this was one really commendable photograph. And I must admit, my eye keeps being constantly drawn back to this photograph. So we can see who got the second prize in landscape. And it's Kitty. I will remember that.
Good on you.
So congratulations, Kitty. I gave it the title, A Cave.
Yeah, I just want to say it absolutely surprised me that nobody else out of all the people who did the walk that day submitted a similar photo.
Aren't you
Because
lucky then?
yeah, I am. I had also submitted a photo of a blue fungus that was on this walk, but when Helen Bell submitted exactly the same photo, I withdrew mine, and I was like expecting people to submit a photo of this arch, but nobody did.
음, 음,
Well, it's time now to look to the winner of the landscape, because that was number 2. So let's have a look. And wow, I'll be honest, blown up, this photo is so much better than the little one. Tony was looking at something, he said, oh my God, I can see why that's your winner. The lake photo cries out strong, vibrant colour. It evokes a feeling of warmth and calm. It's well composed, and something that Ian particularly mentioned was this walker. Just over there, you get this sense of how small the walker is and therefore how large this whole expanse. So he loved that detail of suddenly that walker just there in the distance. He said there is a great depth of field showing up detail of the grass in the foreground, which further emphasises the far edge of the lake and the trees beyond. And I just think that it's I think he could have probably gone on to talk about this incredible reflection that the photographer has been able to capture, the kind of difference, the colour between your blue sky, your multiple greens, and it's something we forget. This beautiful grasses here that almost frames the base, a magnificent photo. And so if we pop over, we'll actually see who our winner is. He won that one as well. And you have to remember, the photographer has no idea who these people, he doesn't even have names, he just has photos and a number. And that was a lake in Launceston. So it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I was just blown away by that photo, as actually the whole 100 that were submitted. But that one, although there's another one coming up that's just incredible as well. All right, so now we go on to the Flora, Fauna and Funga, which, it's just, it just opens up a whole, we could actually have each of these categories on their own. There were so many fabulous photos of fauna. Just that was an area that, there was a koala in another one. There was just beautiful, beautiful photos. And we'll look at the next one. I just picked out a few for us to look at. And you can see the talent. I mean, look at this. There's something wrong with the colour there. That's actually supposed to be red, but that doesn't matter.
And this butterfly is about
it's supposed to be quite colourful. But, it's look at the detail here that they've been able to really capture. It's just fabulous. So we will hop on to our third judge, who I actually have met, Wendy. Beautiful, beautiful woman I had coffee with and thanked her earlier this week and talked to her about her photography. And as she sent to me this little bio, after raising a family and retiring from her professional career, Wendy followed her passion for art and photography. She studied at the Photography Studies College in Melbourne. She then later founded a small business specialising in newborn and toddler photography. And recently her focus has shifted to travel and wildlife photography, where she's enjoying capturing the beauty of the world through her lens. I felt very privileged that my sister-in-law had asked her and she'd said, oh, I'd love to do that. So, you know, it's just been really gorgeous. So we're going to go on to now the second prize, which just, again, we're not seeing this. I think the colour gets a bit thrown. This is actually the most incredible yellow in the real photo. So you have this fabulous wattle yellow, then your green speckled in against the bluebird. Oh, so if you can go and have a look online, I think they'll be all put up, yes. But all of you have got the photos because you were able to vote. And really look at the yellow. And this is what Wendy said about the second prize for this category.
Oh, wow.
This photograph captures a beautifully timed moment. The striking contrast between the blue wren and the yellow wattle creates a dynamic colour palette that immediately draws the viewer's eye. The complementary colours of the bird and flowers work in harmony, enhancing the visual impact. The shallow depth of field draws focus to the beautiful bird. Oh, it's just a stunning photo, and when it's actually blown up on a print, it's so beautiful. So who took this? Robin Hicks, and he took it at the Cranbourne Botanical Gardens. So we'll get that to Robin. Just a stunning photo. So let's go on to our first prize in the Flora, Fauna, Funga section. And again, because of the way this is shown, we can't really see the incredible contrast between this amazing leaf and the debris behind it. So it's not being perhaps shown up in the best light here when it's put onto a big screen. But why did Wendy choose this? So this photo has many strengths. The composition and framing are superb. The curves and then the diagonals of the wood behind or the debris behind. The curves and the diagonal lines of the debris. The leaf itself tells a story. Its damage from a caterpillar adds a layer of life and history. The contrast between the weathered background debris and the more vibrant leaf highlights the theme of change. The water droplets on the leaf introduce an intriguing third dimension about what's reflected in them and what they might reveal beneath the surface. She just loved it. And again, on the blown up one, the different greys and the debris, this leaf, it is just magnificent. So who took it? That's the big question.
Cheryl.
Well done, Cheryl. Pleasure. The beautiful gun leaf at Watson's Creek. And, you know, we've got to keep remembering these are only 6 photos. There could have been 96 photos up there. There's so many that were so good. And, you know, when you're kind of here, you're looking at them and you're doing all these things that you're kind of saying, oh, I wonder this one, I wonder which ones they'll send back to me. I wonder, you know, so it was just fabulous. Okay, the member's choice, nothing to do with that. No one knows any names. And I put in my 3 choices, my 3 numbers. And I didn't know who those photos were at that time. I had no names to any of them. And this is the member's choice. And it should come as any surprise that our members also voted one of the photos that one of our professional photographers voted for. So I was actually quite chuffed because you as members are looking at those photos and you also saw in this one the same as Ian saw, something quite unique, something quite special. So I actually said here, it should come as no surprise that our members also voted for one of the photographs that our judges rated highly. The cave, as we have spoken about before, is an excellent piece of work, and it came second in the landscape section. So I wasn't shocked. I thought, I might have been if perhaps there'd been a photo that our judges hadn't have kind of thought was pretty terrific. So once more, who is our winner?
Oh.
Not unexpectedly. Yeah. Look, it's, yeah, I think in this coming year, if we could try and, you know, oh, we don't want thousands of photos. 100 was enough to deal with. No, we do want more. You know, you can see I actually got quite excited about it. Kitty, thank you. You're listening. You did an extraordinary job sorting and doing a whole lot of computer work. I could just do all the nice stuff and put it together on kind of slideshows. That's a really pleasurable part. So,
Joan, can I just point out that 38 people voted, which was 100 and what are 38? 14 votes.
yes.
And out of those 114 votes, people voted for 47 different photos.
But
is
more
almost,
people voted for you than any of the others.
I know, but I'm saying the votes went over 47 photos, which just shows you how like subjective it all is. Everyone has different ideas about what makes a good photo.
Also, Kitty, I think it shows just how good all of the photos are.
I think all the photos were fabulous.
And
Yeah. So
are you going to point out who was the equal second in the members' choice?
No, winner's choice only. No.
Okay.
No, we've just got, you know, we just want you, Kitty, to bask in all this glory. I don't want you to share it. No sharing. Thank you.
I'll add my congratulations to the winners and highly commended in each category. There were fantastic photos, and I'm sure. Oh, sorry. And the other people that are on Zoom might be able to hear me better now, or hear me at.
Yeah.
Now I've lost my train of thought. So photos were fantastic, as I'm sure you all agree. I want to thank the people for entering, because that's what makes the competition so wonderful, that we have all these people taking photos and being prepared to submit them. Please make use of the email address that Joan and Kitty have set up, so that you can send your photos in progressively through the year. And I hope this year we get more into doing that. Thank you again, Joan, for organising this, and tonight it's been wonderful. Just a quick reminder of the AGM. Please come along. We're going to have wine and cheese afterwards, so it'll be a social gathering, a chance to